What's going on, everybody? Sorry it's taking me so long to get this market report up. We've had a busy month. We've moved into our new house, which is exciting. This will be my new YouTube video office. It's echoey because there's nothing in here right now. There's boxes. We moved in a week earlier than we'd expected, and so we've been kind of rushing around, and which is why this hasn't gotten done yet, and things just kind of got pushed off. But we are here. We're in our new house, and we're excited to be here. Also, I have a black eye that's healing up nicely. If you all know, if you follow me on my personal Instagram or anything, you know that I do jujitsu, and I caught this little black eye in training, but it's all fine. Nothing crazy happened. I actually don't even know how that happened. But all that being said, you guys are here because you want to see the market update for September. Now, because I'm so late in the game and getting this market report done, I'll be able to get another one up here at the end in the next week because I'll have the October numbers. So we're gonna do the September numbers right now. Sorry I'm so late, but then we're gonna get the October numbers here right away. This is more just to kind of give you the lead in for next week's market report. So all that being said, let's talk about the numbers. I'm gonna give this a quick clap so I know when to start recording my other page here, and we can get everything synced up. All right, this is my first time looking at it too, so let's kind of go into it. Sales price on average, look at this. This is interesting. Sales price has actually started to inch up. So we went from 440,000 to average sales price to 445,000. So 440 to 445. It's a small increase. Once again, I think this is going to just continue to level out. I think it's still finding its kind of range. In fact, if I go to the median, so the difference between average and median for those that are confused by this, average is we add up all the sales prices and then divide it by how many we added in, right? So if we had 20 homes sell, we add up all those sales prices and divide it by 20 and find the average. Median is whatever the sales price, this is the direct middle where half the sales prices will be higher, half the sales prices will be lower. So it kind of gives you kind of two different ideas where averages can kind of be skewed by an outlier. Median won't be as skewed, right? It'll say there's 10 above, there's 10 below, and this is the middle one. So that's kind of the difference in average and median. And then here, obviously, we see a little bit lower numbers skew-wise, so 384,173, but you see how it's starting to level off here, right? We're not that far down from the high median in April of 389,900. You know, we're pretty close to that. So you can just starting to see things leveling off. Just like I've said, it's probably going to happen in this market. We're not going to see a dramatic downturn. So I'm not concerned about this little upturn that's here in the sales price. I don't think that's going to continue to come up. I think we're going to see, you know, we might see a leveling off. We might see an up month, a down month. We might see 2 up months, then we might see 2 more down months. But I think it's going to start averaging out. You're going to start seeing it leveling off. All right, new listings. This is continuing to trend down. So what we're really seeing here, and this being a great example, is we moved into a new build neighborhood, right? We're in the Lebanon neighborhood in Lebanon. We're not seeing a slowdown of new builds, right? I don't know if you all have driven down by Coles Ferry Elementary, but there's all new townhouses going in over there. There's lots of new build neighborhoods going in. In fact, they're still expanding on this neighborhood. I'm gonna do a whole video on this Lennar neighborhood and why we love it. And this versus an older home and why you would buy one or the other, the positives and negatives of each. But you'll see that the building has not slowed down in Lebanon. What I think this trend is for new listings is that people are not listing their homes, which is interesting. And I get it. Like, there's all this media going, the sky is falling, everyone's losing money, you're not gonna make as much money. But the sales price isn't showing that. Just so we're all on the same page, the numbers don't show that. I get that there's a ton of people saying that that's what's happening. Nationwide, that might be happening in some markets, but remember that real estate's very local. It might even be happening in a market like Mount Juliet or even like Nashville, where we're starting to see a downturn of prices, but it's not happening here. Remember, we've got a strong job market here in Lebanon. We got a lot of hard workers. We got a lot of people moving to the area that need to find places to live. So I think this is just going to level out. I think it's a strong economy here, and that will continue. Homes for sale. So new listings are down month over month. Home for sale, I'm assuming this is going to also be down. Sure. So you're going to start seeing that. Obviously, we saw the increase up until July when all of a sudden the sky was falling, and now we're starting to see a leveling off and even a bit of a downturn. So this would be like the holdover, right? New listings are ones that have come online at the beginning of the month. Homes for sale are ones that are continuing to stay on the market and roll over to the next month. So this is total homes for sale is down a little bit, right? Now, obviously, because new listings are down, homes for sale also being down makes a little sense here. But also people are buying homes, right? So that it's down possibly because people have been buying homes and pulling them out of the market. So keep that in mind. Or they've been sitting on the market for a long time and people have been taking them off market because they haven't been selling. So could be two separate things there. We're not entirely sure, but it's trending down at this point. And that's just what the numbers are telling us. Pending sales. These are also going to be trending down. I think I was shocked that they trended up last month, that weird data point in August, I believe. So they are down. Pending sales are down, but this could just be linked to the fact that there's less homes, right? So less homes mean less inventory, which means less pending sales. So 148, that is trending down. It puts us on par with where we were in 2021, May 2021, pretty close to those same numbers, maybe even lower here. Let's see. Yeah, February, March of 2021, which is still a hot market, right? So we're on the trend down here of pending sales. That could be good. I think that's just getting us back to this healthy market. Closed sales. This is, once again, I'm going to be a little bit shocked. So closed sales more than ever. So that we are at a peak. September 2022, we had 246 closed sales. That means there's still a lot of buyers in the market, right? I think we're going to start seeing more closed sales because more buyers are going to be rushing to the market. It's a buyer's market is what they're being told nationwide. I don't know if that's the case. The numbers don't support it. The fact that there's a lot of buyers in the market that are jumping in right now, I think that's great. I think we're getting to a more normalized market. But to see this kind of jump month over month of closed sales, I think is great. We were obviously one of them, which is hilarious. All right, days on market. There's going to be a median and an average here, right? So median went down. So this is interesting. This is one of those situations where you see if one kind of trends one way and one trends the other way, it could be skewed from a outlier. So what we're seeing here is a median day on market of 2 days. So that means half of them were more than 2 days, half of them were under 2 days. That's crazy. That means half the homes that sold in September were 1 day or 0 days. And then half were above 2. And that could have been anywhere, right? It could have been 3 to 365. It could have been anything. So when you see that, we go to the average and we see the average tick up 1 day. So the average went from 10 to 11 this past month. So the average is going up. Could it have been skewed from one that had been on the market for a long time? Possibly, right? We're not entirely sure. We can kind of go look at those numbers at some point, but we're starting to see, at least on average, homes sitting on the market a little bit longer. Remember that 11 days on market on average is not, it's still fast. That's still quick. Remember, in a kind of normal, healthy market, we'd like to see that closer to 30 to 60 days on the market, right? If you can sell your home within a month, I think that's great. So it's still a hot market, all that being said. Month supply. So this is gonna trend a little bit with the new listings, right? Because so now it's starting to move down again, or more average out, I should say. We've got 2.4 months of supply, which is still very low. Once again, we'd like to see it up in this 4, maybe even up into that 5 to 6 month supply is a healthy market. We're still low. So I still think this is a seller's market. I still think there's a lot of places. If you're still looking to sell your house, I still think this is a very strong market to sell your house in. I also think it's starting to become a good buyer's market as well. So I think we're getting into that healthy position again where they're both great. But I still think we're trending a little bit more to the buyer's side. When you go into it, whether you're using me as your agent or somebody else, just try to keep in mind that just because the things that are happening now aren't the same things that have been happening the last 2 years. The last 2 years have been crazy, right? I don't think you should expect your house to sell in in 2 or 3 days anymore, or even a week. Like, you should expect it to sit there for, well, on average 11 days. But the month supply are still low. So I'm still saying this is still a seller's market, right? Not quite yet a buyer's market, but is still that seller's market. How many of them are selling on the percentage of list price? So the median is that, that middle point that is 100%. So I've listed it at 100% and it sold at 100%. That was that median point here. Let's look at the average. So now we're seeing a trend down. We are actually, at 98.9 on average percentage of list price. So we're starting to see that negotiation. Now, I don't necessarily know if these are homes that have been on the market for a while that are now being brought down, or if people feel like homes that are new listings are being listed too high and we're negotiating down. This is also going to start averaging out. We're going to start seeing that average out as we start kind of finding where people feel comfortable buying these homes at, and as also interest rates continue to flux. So keep that in mind, that people won't be able to afford as much home as they have been in the past as interest rates rise. So on median, we're still at that 100%. On average, we're still at 98%. So we're seeing sellers say, oh, maybe we went a little high on our price and we're starting to come down. This is that kind of, is it starting to become a buyer's market versus a seller's market? So sellers are starting to come down and buyers are starting to go, hey, we'll offer this, and it might not be full price, right? You're also starting to see concessions. You're starting to see sellers say, we'll pay for closing costs, or we'll get you your home warranty. All these things are starting to really come into play now to make this a little bit more of a buyer's market. Now, like I said, still a seller's market, but a little bit more of a buyer's market, which is great. All right. Now this is a little bit, we're going to go into percentage of original price. This is when prices change. So we come in at an original list price, this is going to be around that 100% range. Starting to see it come down here as well on the average, 99%. Original price versus list price. Do I know what the difference is? I don't. Seems like the same to me. If I list it originally here, right, then what's the original? I'm not sure what they're looking at. I'm going to figure out what that is all about at some point, and we'll talk more a little bit about that. So original prices. So we're starting to see the average or median. So let's look at the average original price here, $451.83. This is the average. This is all the homes that have been sold. Now, this takes into account like luxury homes as well. If we look at the median, I think this is a little bit more telling. This is starting to average out, right? Even since, I would say, probably April of this past year, we'll see some ups and downs, but I think this is really, you're starting to see this averaging out. You're starting to see the swings were big and they're starting to get a little bit smaller, right? So this is still the average, but those swings are starting to get smaller, and I think that's what you're really starting to see. So median 385. For home sales, average price 451. Once again, you're really starting to see the averages really level out. So haven't seen a drop in original list prices, which is great. Price per square foot, this continues to trend up. I think that, like I said, as interest rates rise, you're gonna see this as well, because I think smaller homes are driving the market. I'll continue to say it because people cannot afford bigger homes anymore. They're buying smaller homes, which is putting more people in that smaller home market, which I think is continuing to drive price per square foot up. So we're at 216 median, and we are at 220 on average. So for smaller homes, also for new builds, you will see a average per square foot less on new builds as well. So as more, I believe, new builds come out onto the market, because building has not stopped or slowed down, you will see that price per square foot continue to trend up. And then dollar volume, always just good to see if our market's healthy. Lots of money still in the market. In fact, is it a new high? June was at 108, 441, 109. So we are at a new high of dollar volume of closed sales in Lebanon, Tennessee, of a new high. So is it a strong market? It is still a very strong market. And I will continue to sing the praises of the Lebanon housing market here for residential stuff. I think it is still a strong market for sellers, a strong market for buyers. Anybody who's telling you different, have them look at the numbers and say, hey, if these are the numbers why are you saying that the market is falling? Why are you saying if your agent is saying we should list lower, right? Go, but this is saying that we shouldn't,